The Flandre, a Tier 7 premium ship, was at first laughed at for being a secondary ship with no range. But soon, thanks to the gods at wargaming, we're able to make this ship somewhat useful. And this is the Flandre we know today. Now, what makes the Flandre not seen as much in the current meta? The German battle cruiser line exists, which arguably has better secondaries which hit harder, have gimmick torpedoes that break with the slightest touch, and 16-inch guns. And the Atlantico, a ship with 16 8-inch guns per side. Now, why you want this ship? Oh yes, cause it's still somewhat usable without the secondaries. But these secondaries break at the slightest touch. So go figure. But when these secondaries aren't too busy breaking themselves, they are monsters. Sure, they don't pen anything, but it's like having a Colbert strapped on both of your sides. But having a fire starter strapped on you isn't too bad. And its AA is somewhat good for being a baguette. This is basically the one of the two things going for it. Once they leave your range, you lose your one gimmick. Now you fight a ship which probably has bigger guns, better shells, and break your secondaries before you can get back in. Also, your number one enemy are fire starters. They aren't too kind to your secondaries, which getting hit by one shell obliterates half of your secondaries. But now on to the guns. 15-inch French guns are like the French during World War II. They can break at the slightest touch as well. I can't tell you how many times these guns break while bow tanking. Hell, once both front guns were destroyed when I was bow tanking. So basically, your weapons being the equivalent of the Dardan offensive in World War I. You now go and impersonate an Alaska, but you are able to tank thanks to being built with the finest French steel. You give behind islands and wait for your destroyer to spot. Oh yeah, I forgot. Your teammates are going to be either charging into the action and die immediately, or kite away the second they get overpenned for 1k. So you have two choices, either hold or retreat. This ship is the definition of fight and kite. You are the definition of speed. Being too able to at 38 knots is silly for a battleship. Funny enough, you're faster than some destroyers and this thing turns on a dime. So yeah, either fight or kite. You have the maneuverability to justify it. The guns have the French dispersion, which means they are either rail guns or shotguns depending on how they fell that day. Now we have the consumables. Yes, definitely not seen before. You have the damage con and the repair party, and the engine boost, a French thing that makes you a torpedo. And the secondary enhancement, for 35 seconds you become Death Destroyer of AA and the creator of fire. Acing 21 shells going down range every 2-3 seconds is moral crushing. The fires they set are often scary. Now on to the armor. 32 mil on the bow, which allows you to tank 16 shells, which is the normal in this tier. And we have a French turtle back to suit. So you are perfect for brawling, but wait, oh yeah, I have 42 seconds to return time. But at least I get a 25-second reload, so worth it. So in case you fail to hit something, you get more chances since of a silly French skill, Megalomania, which provides you a faster reload. And with this commander we are able to push the secondary range to 10 kilometers. You can push that more, but I'm too poor for it. Now you can go and sail flat broadside and get half of your HP gone, since that's how people play these days. So when you play, think about how your team may not be dependable, but still doing something. So even if they sail flat broadside, you still are able to kill the enemy easier. So now go grind you baguette and get the dub. Get the hose, and make every Bismarck thinking they are the pinnacle of European engineering get chunked for 20k thanks to your French magic bullets. And ruin every destroyer, rethink your lives while get her pummeled by you secondaries.